Only difference here coming on in is that we're not going to be seeing them immediately roll out with the Junkrat. Instead, throwing Jade off over to the Hanzo.
And Tea Party looks like they might be rolling out on this triple DPS with Ace of Spades as the solo tank. Actually going to get caught with that nade, that set nade by Blub. Go very low, but going to get healed up now. So you look at these two teams right now with the double soul healer for wave check. They have the ability of having the extra damage and focus from Discord on top of the heals and the nano for Juby. So for Tea Party, their focus here should be shield break. It should be shield break and forcing wave check to rotate because they're going to be slower. They don't have a res. They can't easily contest the Pharaoh without a D.Va. So that is going to be Tea Party's goal here, is shield break and rotating wave check in a position where they can't easily get away from their spam.
Far for now, focusing pretty much exclusively on breaking shields, opening up opportunities for Amadian, and Far can take matters into his own hands, finish off the Roadhog, a little bit of assistance. 6 on 5 now for Tea Party, and wave check in a pretty rough spot as Kakalaka takes directly to the feet. That's going to be a very quick point A for Tea Party.
Very good usage of the Hulks and those damaged rockets. It was a good nade for Blub, opening up that early pick, catching Jade. So wave check going to lose that first point. Tea Party now going to continue on to second. And this is where Tea Party's composition really starts to shine in comparison. You see wave check now making some swaps, Crackalack going to the D.Va. They need the D.Va now if they're not going to play double sniper because they have to have some sort of high ground control, some way to mitigate Freedom and Amadian who are going to be playing this high ground. And Far on the Pharaoh as well. There's a lot of space control, a lot of skybox control for Tea Party here on this high ground.
This is very likely be a bad point for wave check, given that their composition so far and what they've been good at is throwing barriers in the way. Well, guess what? Hollywood, the high ground's really powerful. It's not anywhere near as effective for Orisa Hog on the other side. Freedom immediately finding Juby. One might be down. Far dropping the barrage on the backhand side. And Tea Party trading out effectively here. Gonna be getting Glove back on up into the fight. Payload not really being stopped at all.
You see now wave check gonna have to be staggering onto the point, dying there so they can reset. This next fight is going to be possible for wave check to find some value. Blub isn't on Ana, so there's no anti-nade for the Trance. So Trance is available. They have that in case of that supercharger. They have a nano as well, so they can walk forward. We could even see a nano whole hog, but I would rather see that nano D.Va to get that presence, to get the zone. It's still going to be tough for wave check to have to deal with all this high ground presence that Tea Party has.
Drain strike from Freedom directly into the thick of things here, forcing out the Transcendence from Panic. Pretty decent swing here in the fight. Supercharger going to be dropped. Amadian finding Higan on the other side, 5 on 5. But Panic coming into play here for wave check. Wave check moving back on over. That was a nano D.Va.
It was the nano D.Va. I was expecting that to go to Crackalack because they needed the zone, they needed the high ground control, and that's exactly what happened. Good nano for Juby, good zoning for Crackalack, and he's now going to have to move on for next fight. Now Tea Party, they need to reset. This is also a scenario where I could realistically see some swaps, especially the Pharah. The Pharah is not going to be effective into this at all. I mean, you have a Widow, you have a D.Va, you have double soul heal, which can mark you and then pick you. As actually, if we go this far, going Brigitte, and then Panic is going to go Hanzo. Panic's going to go Hanzo for the extra shield break, but Tea Party are just going to swap their comp entirely. We're seeing Hero Chess. It's Hero Chess happening live.
And this is a decent round of Hero Chess for Tea Party as they set back on up. I don't think they'll be wasting too many times. With both Winston and D.Va, they should be able to immediately go for the high ground. Wave check. They need to give that a bit more respect. And no, instead they just go directly for the payload. Jade going to be rotating back around, looking the other way. It's Spade's already down, found by Higan. Panic laying it in on the other side, and really good rotation coming out from wave check.
Also the supercharger for Matman being used there. Tea Party had no ults with their fresh swaps. It's a completely neutral ult economy for them. So supercharger is effectively strong. People often forget about how impactful an ult, especially if you can catch your whole team with it. And when wave check are holding this high ground and being able to catch the value for the supercharger, those tanks for Tea Party get shredded, as Blub's now going to make the swap onto Ana into this because there's only one support, I should say, for wave check. They're holding multiple DPS, they're holding multiple tanks. There's not a lot of healing. They can actually just play slow. They just can't give up any picks.
Tea Party holding quite a bit back here. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left remaining. Ult coming up, potentially setting up Jade, not quite, and very ambitious self-destruct from wave check there from Crackalack, and gets the D-Mech, and honestly, in terms of buying time, it's not bad.
That's all they needed. Legitimately, that's all they needed is to get the D-Mech onto D.Va, because without a D.Va available, when they're playing slow, when they don't have effective shield break without a Xin, without multiple DPS heroes, they need D.Va to zone these double snipers. They need these D.Va to also mitigate the value for Higan. And Tea Party, they're running to this swap where they're just swapping. They don't know how to deal with this bunker anymore. They thought they had the idea. They couldn't find the value they needed. And instead of just sticking with it, they're going to swap again here.
So there's playing hero chess effectively against your opponent, and then there's just playing hero chess against yourself, which Tea Party's kind of doing right now with all these swaps. Last minute desperation, minute 30 left remaining. You know, Panic just gonna drop the Dragon Strike into the backline, picks up 3.
It was the D-Mech and also the kill. It was a good halt, a very, very good halt from Matman, bringing them into the Dragon Strike as again picks up 2. They can look those tanks late. And Tea Party, they're playing a composition. They're mirroring here this comp, so it is not impossible. In a lot of ways, it's not impossible for them to get value. It's not impossible for them to just win it. But they took so much time playing hero chess, like we talked about, that they're building up their ult still. They're going to have a minute left on the clock. And these comps, with the double sniper, with the solo heal, it's a lot of poke. It's a lot of halt hook. These are slow fights, very, very slow fights, and they don't have a lot of time.
And that's a key moment here, is that you're saying it's slow fights where it's not a lot of time. This could be final fight with only a minute left. Tea Party moving on to the payload. Amadian looking in the off angle right now. Can't find it. Instead, gonna get a Diva in his face on the other side. Panic res back on up. Wave Tech though under pressure. They lose their Orisa. Not gonna be resable in the least. And this is where Tea Party, they're gonna have their best opportunity as Jade falls.
You see with the storm arrows coming out of here, you see the pressure here onto Higan, Blub, and Far taking the angle they need, and this is exactly what Tea Party needed. They'll win the fight slowly but surely. There's a lot of time. They're actually going to be able to get the res too, keep Antal alive. And that is what you need to be doing when you're in this mirror matchup with the double sniper, with the tanks, and only one healer. Angles. It's all about angles. You don't want to play for Orisa shield break. You have equal shield break pressure. You need angles. You need picks.
With how drained Wave Check is right now, even if their goal is to drain ultimates, I think heavily pushing out here could be a mistake. They're going to be feeding Tea Party pretty heavily, and already down Higan before they can get out the door. But just making the attempt did get its supercharger out, so actually not the worst for Wave Check.
Wave Check burned off a lot of time there on the streets phase, partially because of Tea Party not knowing where they want to swap to, or also just because these fights are very long with these mirror setups. And now Wave Check, they have their fight winner. You know, it's kind of odd when we see these shifts into a more Orisa-centric meta a lot of these times for certain maps as it turns out how teams want to play. Supercharger can just straight up win a fight on its own. It's so strong and effectively denying shield presence and also making sure that your snipers have more value.
Early bomb being thrown out here by Crackalack. Connects! Gets to the Mercy in the back. Antal down. Freedom sends it back the other way. And Tea Party still potentially winning this fight despite the early bomb from Crackalack. They're able to get better trades. Resurrection on the Panic, but I don't think that's going to be very effective at all. Tea Party, far more people still alive here on the payload. And even the supercharger, it's a supercharger thrown down in numbers. It's nowhere near as effective. You need more people.
Far was 9 HP. I think if Far had been picked off there, this could have been potential for Wave Check. See, the hook comes out. We're going to be Matrix. Now, this is rough for Wave Check. They have to recontest into ults. They have none of their own. They have to worry about the Dragon Strike.
Dragon Strike coming in from Wave Check again. Using Whole Hog, pushing Tea Party back. It's a final 14 seconds. Tea Party, they can't retreat for long. Even down 2, they're going to immediately need to bring this back.
8 more seconds left on the clock as Ace of Spades is going to go ham and going to roll back here as fast as possible. Again, controlling the flank, denying that. Here comes Ace of Spades, going to be the one to touch with Freedom. Amadi needs to find a pick. They need to find something here if they're going to win this fight.
Biden's looking from the back, gets down Crackalacken. The early headshot onto the mech, 6 on 5. Far finding his targets on the other side. Amadi's still laying in damage from the back, and Higan desperately trying to delay here, but it's too much. The double sniper damage from Tea Party doing its work. Well, use Whole Hog right now, just trying to get the last few stragglers off the payload. Tea Party gonna do just that and finish things out here on point C.
Despite a tough point B for Tea Party, they had a good A, and they found their footing there on last. Amadian and Far coming alive, getting the value they need. And Blub, it's something that we talked about. It's a mirror matchup, but it's a role swap. Because Panic is playing Hanzo for Wave Check, while they have Higan on Hog. And also in addition to that, they also have, on the opposite side, Blub on Hog and Far on Hanzo. So it's definitely some weird role swaps here when you have this setup where only one healer and you want to be playing that Hog. It's just interesting to see how it works out there. Tea Party, though, finishing the map. Did not have any time left over, so they do not get another chance to attack. Did not finish. They finished in that OT. So
well, they might if Wave Check is able to finish within that window of if they finish in overtime themselves
as well,
or under a minute.
That's true. If that's true, they could get it if they bring that Wave Check's time, but we have to see if that's really going to happen. Wave Check now going to be on this offense. I've seen how Wave Check's been playing. They've been seeing to favor the bunker. I wouldn't be surprised to see another bunker setup with that double sniper with the Hog. Just have to see.
Well, for now, Wave Check, nothing about their composition can be trusted. Look at the Tea Party side of things, though, I'm happy to see them bring out the Sombra here again. I feel like Tea Party has looked the strongest when running Sombra. And really just a pretty standard defense coming out from them, where for Wave Check, who really knows? We have no idea until they actually move on out. Although if Panic... Okay, Panic is there. There's no AFK.
So Tea Party playing Sombra Goats. A very safe setup, but they also have Blub on the Ana, so they have some setup. There's going to be DPS comps. They're set up, there's going to be 3-3. Now versus the Bunker here, where the Wave Check is playing the Zin Lucio. They have Shield Break with the Hanzo, with the Hog. A lot of Shield Break, a lot of Shield presence, along with the opportunity for freezes and for hooks. And Wave Check actually can go back. They might be making full swaps. I don't know exactly what they might be going to. Full 3-3? Looks like they're going full 3-3. Yep.
It is a classic, the one and only 3-3. It's back. But also an interesting swap versus Tea Party, where you do have an advantage in the Zen Viana, but Sombra's still pretty good against this.
So now Wave Check going to enter the point here. Their goal is to rotate, is to find Tea Party. Their front line is stronger. They have better shield presence and Discord focus with Panic.
The Wave Check, they've done the right thing by trying to force a fight immediately. They want to try and win before Sombra gets EMP on the other side. Already giving one tick. Then we have Wave Check. Tea Party, they're not going to have time to buy for EMP here. They need to move in. Blub ends up falling. And Wave Check, they go in as aggressive as you need to in this setup.
Now Wave Check own point Tea Party. They have a high energy Zarya. They're getting closer to EMP, but low heals. They need to play split. They need to get this grab if they want to commit to this fight. But even still, with another member going down, they should not grab. But they are going to grab.
What?
They're going to choose for the grab. The fight's over, Amadian. The fight is way done.
That should not have happened. The only thing I can think of is if you're going to swap it, even then, why are you swapping off in this situation? I guess he just wants to go for the sniper play, but it's still weird to throw Grav away in that sense. Grav, not usually an ultimate where you go, oh, I'll just throw it away, I'm swapping anyways.
They definitely could have held it and just played for the ult cycle in this following fight, could have stayed on the Sombra Goats, but instead going to go triple DPS, put Antal onto the Mercy, or onto the Pharah, and get the Widow here from Audience. They're going to control the high ground. The EMP is available, but double support, triple support for Wave Check. So Wave Check can either grab first, but they can if they get 6-man EMP'd.
EMP up early, far there on the follow-through, laying in rockets over the top. So the EMP fight goes well for Tea Party. And now we'll see if the swap to Widow will pay dividends here, where really, this is where if Tea Party didn't swap, they'd have a grab for the next fight. Instead, we're going to hope that they just get some headshots.
Now if you're Wave Check, all you have to do is pressure point. And because they're still running the Zin rather than the Ana, because they weren't worried about the sustain, they were keeping with that composition, they can't give up any picks on the entry. They can't let Amadian get those picks. But if they can just pressure point, they can walk the point. They have 5 ults. They can get an isolated kill. Even if it's just only Ace of Spades or Freedom, it's a slow fight win. There's the rally in for Jade.
They use rally, start things off here. Fixing the Hammond around far. Meanwhile, taking advantage of the distraction, drops the barrage, gets down the Rhine. Before D.Va can rotate on over, it's a well-timed barrage from far. Gives Far the 6-on-5. Graviton getting invested here by Wave Check. Wave Check trying to turn it around. They use it on the Hammond. 5-on-5. Far under pressure. Should be able to head back on over. D.Va in his face a while. Meanwhile, Amadian's still looking for pickoffs while this is going on. Hasn't quite happened yet.
And right now, Wave Check, they own point. They just can't lose anyone. An anti, a huge anti comes out onto Jade and Crackle. They're solo. Getting the DMEC on the D.Va here could be all they need, because Mines, EMP is available far still in the sky.
Shadow gonna be dropped here by Matman on the other side. Amadian, it's Pay Dirt with 2 back on the other end. This is where Widow can be pretty deadly as the fight starts breaking down, but someone has to get on the point.
They have to stop the point, and this is the real problem for this comp. They're winning, they're getting picks, they're slowly but surely getting those players out of the way for Wave Check, but Wave Check are just moving. They're just moving point the entire time.
Well, finally, Tea Party paying a little bit more attention to the payload here. Amadian finishing things off, but if you're Wave Check, you're not even that disappointed
and they
with
can
that
swap.
push.
They can swap now, too. They've used their ults. They've used all the ults they built up in their previous offense. They should just full swap against this triple DPS. They can even go counter triple. They can go bunker with the double sniper. Looks like that's what they're going to be doing, is they're getting the bunker with the double sniper. They know there isn't a lot of shield break versus Tea Party. They can make space for Panic and Jade. And Hegan can just roam. He can literally just walk around.
Tea Party going for a few swaps of their own, where they're also going to be swapping over to Orisa Hog. Amadian ends up falling, and
oh my goodness, Antal, you are so lucky that Jade did not hit that shot. That was not even, I can't even say a risky res. That is sort of just a res you can't take when the Widow's watching that angle.
That is the disrespect res, is what we were seeing there. But we have Wave Check hanging back over to the point. It's going to be Orisa via Orisa. Amadian with the info sight up right now. Looking for pickoffs up the other side. Freedom in over the top. And the hook gonna strike first for Wave Check. They bring in Ace of Spades. They deal to Orisa on the other side. And this is such a good opportunity moving on up, especially they can move on in, deny any possibility of the resurrection. They do just that. Freedom gets dropped the EMP, they try and swap it back the other way. EMP in. We see Tea Party fighting back and forth as Wave Check is applying a lot of pressure back over on the
Freedom
payload.
is one.
And that Hanzo's so deep.
Freedom is 1 HP. No one has been able to find him. He actually gets the pick. Juby has taken 2 kills in this fight along with the res. Juby with that Valve, so important in this fight. The stagger's out. Freedom's still only 34. It's over. The fight's done. It's unlikely Tea Party can recontest this because the health for Wave Check, the presence is so much stronger. Juby being integral even though he goes down.
A little bit of tactical crouching going on towards the end. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left for Wave Check. Still very much in their power. The finish with a time over a minute, but they only have a minute 38 to do that, so they do want to be quick here.
Tea Party looking to recontest, and you see, I think they'll be making a full swap onto the Sombra Goats here again. They might be keeping Ace of Spades on the other side. I don't think it's a good idea. No, they won't. They know that they can take this fight aggressively because there's no Zenyatta, there's no Ana, there's not even a Brigida, there's nothing to deny this push. There's no Mei. They can walk forward, there's double sniper on the field for Wave Check, and run over the front line here, build their ults. They're already 50% to another EMP.
Going to be coming out here early. Jade finding Sombra on the other side.
Oh my goodness!
Very nice opening here for Wave Check, and it gets worse for Tea Party. Off on the other side, another halt to set things up, and that's a full clean sweep. And bear in mind for Wave Check, they still have 54 seconds to bring this into the end to prevent Tea Party from getting an attack of their own.
That was a disastrous fight for Tea Party now. Freedom going to be fighting up there on that high ground. Jade, though, going to get pocketed. They need EMP, ZP. They must get EMP for this fight. There's Supercharger, there's Bomb, there's Halt Bomb, there's Halt Dragon. Everything that they need for Wave Check to win this fight versus no old Tea Party.
Or if nothing else, Tea Party, they need to delay. Dragon right down the middle. Ace of Spades already down. As Wave Check, they move in with the man advantage. Supercharger, such a huge benefit. It takes so long for the Supercharger to be burst on down. Far's in danger. EP out from Freedom. This is going to be too little here. Blood uses it to land the Bio Nade. And Tea Party fighting it back. They're going to hold off Wave Check for now. And that means at the very least, even if Wave Check is able to finish, Tea Party's going to get an attack.
Freedom not going down in that fight and managing to get the EMP along with synergizing with the nade with the EMP is huge. Keeping far up. Realistically, Wave Check probably should have won that fight if their focus fire was a little bit stronger. They got one more pick if they specifically Freedom. But now they've stopped that push. Wave Check, they're going to have to make swaps with them. They're going to go full 3-3 into the Sombra Goat to get the Zenyatta. However, look at Tea Party's ult bank. Double support ult. I mean, triple support ult very soon. Along with coming after that EMP.
Downade opening here, doesn't quite connect. Club lands asleep on the other side. Ace of Spades just dives into the back line, finds 2! And that, of course, empowered by the Nano and Tea Party. In a much better spot now. Wave Check, they just have ammunition.
It's last fight now, too. This is last fight in this next territory. Last fight with no ult for Wave Check versus EMP versus, I mean, it's really EMP Shatter beat and zero, literally zero ults. There has to be a huge play that comes into effect. Panic must get trans as well if they have any hope of winning this.
Well, I'm not even thinking about Panic and Transcendence. I'm thinking about Panic and Zenyatta pickoffs where this is where you almost have to hope the Zen gets the miracle right click on someone here as Freedom drops down over the top. 6-man EMP. See ya. Tea Party going to be finishing out, holding off Wave Check, going up in the series 2-1.
That's going to be the map for Tea Party as they finish up these frags. And what looked hard at times when they had those bombs on Paris versus the bunker, Hollywood a little bit less forgiving, or I guess enabling for that composition where Wave Check has a lot of that success. And Tea Party, which is a team that we've seen a lot of flexibility, especially putting Amadian onto the Sombra and onto the Widow, they made it work. And Hollywood with that high ground, with all those flanks, they can find the value playing a lot more Sombra Goats.
Also, recurring theme of the series, Tea Party does a lot better when they're running a Sombra. Yes. They don't do quite as well when not running the Sombra. And that's true of many teams in Overwatch right now. You look at the Overwatch League where teams like the Outlaws completely redefined when they go, wait, that Dante guy, pretty good on Sombra. Maybe we should try that.
And see now here's just for the first point offense for Tea Party. And Pharah has a lot of value here on the Pharah. He's someone that's been around for a while, been a projectile specialist for a bit, has made a decent swap onto the Brigida as well. That's an improvement. Over Tea Party, I think your analysis is exactly right. I think our classification of them is they're a DPS-oriented team.
Yeah.
They want to play Sombra Goats. They want to play triple DPS. They really don't necessarily want to have to play in Bunker or even 3-3 that much. They would much prefer to be playing a lot more of those compositions where they can be flexing Amadian, Far, and even Freedom.
Well, as proof of that, even though we often say that the H key is stronger than the Q key, it is a rarity in Overwatch to ever have a Zarya just throw away a grab and go, yeah, the Graviton's good, but what if I was on Widow? Amadian is comfortable on Widow to the point that even though it's unorthodox, Tea Party still looks at those situations and says, you know what, we'd rather have the Widow. It fits her style more.
And for wave check, they're trying to force that bunker composition a lot. The solo heal bunker with the double sniper. And if you're going to be playing that composition, you also must be winning the Widow duels. You must be winning the Widow duels consistently versus the triple DPS for Amani on the Widow. But the reality is, on this map, Tea Party could just force Sombra Goats a lot more. You can force Sombra Goats, you have strong rotations, you don't have huge sightlines. They also didn't have a Mei to stop those pushes. And Amani is just going to build the EMP, they're going to win the fight from an EMP because there's no defensive ults for wave check at all. There's no defensive ults.
Well, also, Mei is almost a cheat code in working with the Orisa where, wait, you've almost bursted down the Orisa shield? Well, we can throw up a wall and give the Orisa time to get the shield back up, but on Hollywood, the wall is a lot less effective. You're dealing with verticality in spades, particularly on point B. So wave check couldn't quite go to what was much more effective for them back on Paris.
So this is going to be the third map. Going the way of Tea Party, so going to be up in the series 2-1 now over wave check. Moving into our final map, it's going to be our Escort. And where wave check looks to equalize it, and reality, Escort is generally a great game mode where the bunker has a lot of value. Escort, you can set it up, you can hold the chokes very effectively, you can look for the halt combos, you can even use the walls to crack and back on that Mei. And for Tea Party, they're going to be hoping that, well, hope we can play Sombra. They're like, well, let's see if we can get some effectiveness from the Sombra, because so far that's where they've had a lot of success.
Well, Rialto is going to be our fourth map here in the series, and I think it's interesting because Rialto is both a good Sombra map, but also, as you point out,
an incredibly good Orisa Hog map.
Yeah, and also good for Mei,
yes.
Particularly in point A.
Yes.
Point A can be pure terror to try and get through point, or the very tiny archway where you're dealing with Orisa shields, Orisa hiding to the side, Mei walls coming in for additional stall. So it's going to be interesting to see how it breaks down. I do think, though, Sombra still has an edge where, okay, you can delay all you want, but you know what prevents you from using walls and using Orisa shields? Being EMP'd.
And I think if I'm Tea Party, I should realize that advantage and recognize that if I don't want to play the mirror comp with bunker, I play triple DPS. I even quad DPS. I mean, it is a strategy that we've seen at the Overwatch League level. You can play that. You can play perma shield break. You can just play full flank and not have to worry about ever dealing with the halt hook combo realistically and looking for the backline. Because there is no peel for the backline in bunker. There's a solo heal. There's one healer. It's generally Mercy. There's generally double snipers. Very easy to get engaged upon with multiple DPS heroes, and there's very little peel for the bunker. It's just the D.Va. And actually, they don't even have a D.Va because wave check's on Mei.
And interesting enough, this is wave check on the attack. Now, it does mean they can swap things up, so let's look at Tea Party and the defense they're going to be running here. They're going to be running Sombra Pharah.
Tea Party playing this triple DPS defense. Still, though, with the Sombra. Going to be playing those off angles, going to be looking for the poke, building towards the EMP. I do like that they have Pharah on the Pharah. Partially for that right there. Boops on the bridge, always great. So Matman going to be falling off that map. But also, it forces wave check to reevaluate. If they want Crackalacken on the Mei instead of the D.Va, Pharah's going to be a lot more free.
I like the Mei more on defense, and I like it here on offense, particularly against the defensive Pharah. I mean, Crackalacken, you can shoot icicles into the sky all you want. I don't think lightning in a bottle will be caught a second time. Yeah, every now and then you can take a Pharah out of the sky, but it's difficult, especially when the Pharah is getting pocketed all the while. It's very difficult for wave check to make meaningful progress right now.
Also because of these rotations that are happening for wave check where they want to control the high ground and try to contest Pharah and try to contest the Amadian and deny angles for freedom. He already has Barrage, and there's no Matrix to stop this Barrage.
And more than that, freedom. Building up EMP with harassment coming from the back, and Amadian strikes, finds Crackalacken early on. Counter shot back with Ace of Spades, but expect that to be rezzed up in short order here from Tea Party. Antol's just be heading on over. And Pharah, another 2 pickoffs. Pharah's just been in the skies doing incredible amounts of work as Antol gets the res off.
Pharah has no counters right now. There are no counters. Is Jade now going to make the swap onto Widow, put Crackalacken onto D.Va? I think that's a much better pick. You have a Widow now to duel, you have a Widow now to deny the Pharah and the Mercy. You also have the D.Va there to eat the Barrage that's going to be happening. You need that to occur here for T. If you're wave check, you deny this Barrage value, but Freedom's still going to have EMP after, so Panic need to be on the lookout.
Right now, just getting harassed by Freedom in the back. EMP up for the next fight, and Matman just getting isolated on all sides. There's a full crossfire, and Matman was in the middle of it. Wave Check losing the Orisa, not in a resable spot. And now for Wave Check, they're going to have to go back to the beginning once more. 2 minutes burned off the clock, and they're running into a fully prepped Tea Party.
EMP, Barrage, Supercharger, Nade, and also Transcendence is no guarantee this next fight is going to keep Wave Check alive, because an EMP Nade just means you're all anti. You can't survive the fight anyway to lose 1 or 2 members. And for Wave Check, they need to zone. They need to get Far and Freedom in a position where they're not going to be effective. Otherwise, Batman,
Freedom
the rest
got
of the
slept.
tanks are going to be down.
They might not have to worry about the EMP. They finish off Freedom. This is a big opportunity, but Amadian gets the Widow on the other side. Wave Check, even with 5-on-5, they need to take advantage of this. While EMP is not in play, Far holding on back. Freedom's going to be back soon, and Wave Check's window might be
Transcendence
closing.
used, by the way. Transcendence used. There's no trance here for EMP Barrage, but Amadian's already found Juby.
Freedom moving on over. Is this time the EMP? It's on the edge here where they might be able to win without it. There's heavy poke damage coming in. Both tanks getting very, very low on the other side for Wave Check. Spades finds the Orisa, and I think the good part here for Tea Party is they can save. They don't have to use EMP just yet.
Don't even have to use EMP. That's huge for Tea Party. Amadian continuing to find this value on Widow, showing that as Panic actually goes for the flank. Not going to be able to finish him off. Going to be solo Barrage. Bye-bye, Panic, and good night. And you notice that as soon as Juby went down early, Wave Check have no heals. They have no heals, so Tea Party recognized that and didn't commit any ults. I guess they committed the Barrage for some reason. They committed solo Barrage, but why not?
Well, anytime Barrage can get an elimination without you getting eliminated turn, it's a pretty good Barrage. Let's be real. As Far gets the Widow on the other side. Tea Party doing very well at staggering Wave Check. Wave Check, they have to move through and win an EMP fight. It's going to be difficult.
Get ready here for this next fight. There is going to be the Infrasight for Jade, so Freedom is less free to move around. There's going to be a Supercharger as well. The engage is happening.
Amadian out of the fight. Man advantage here for Wave Check. EMP invested by Freedom. It hits 3. But the fall through might not be there. Amadian going to get res back up, but the threat of the EMP is down. Wave Check, they've gotten over the first hurdle. Freedom out of the fight. Amadian, though, strikes on back. Gets the Zenyatta. And Amadian taken down by Jade on the other side. Wave Check starting to grind their way through. Point A might not be done yet.
Jade finding so much value on this Widow flank. His team able to sustain through the EMP. One of the great things about having triple tank versus that EMP is that they can, and there's no Discord, there's no Zen for Tea Party, so it takes a while to burn those tanks, especially if Jade is putting the pressure onto your DPS heroes, which you need to clean it up. Jade hitting some clutch shots. Wave Check have capped first. They continue to move forward, and now they're going to have ults for the following fight.
Not an easy fight at all for Wave Check to come in and win. Freedom on the way towards building another EMP, but Tea Party Far finds Jade. Makes it 2. Really nice Hanzo flank in here from Far. And that's going to lead the way for the rest of Tea Party. You'll move in from the front line. Even as Far is getting chased on down by Crackalacken, look at what's going on in the payload.
Far, such a menace in the window, finds another. Still getting zoned here by Crackalacken, but he's getting pocketed. He's going to find another. Far finding so much value right now.
Far just willing the game back in the favor of Tea Party because it's not just that they won the fight. Freedom.
Far!
Did he really get another?
Gets the headshot too. This is the power of Hanzo when you're getting damage when you're playing with the shield. And the reality for Wave Check now is that they're walking into double sniper. They have tanks. They need to find something here with their Hog, with the Diva. Honestly, I would like to see he against swap maybe. They need to get halt hooks. They need to get halt hooks. They need to get pulls into the bomb because they're playing into the triple DPS with all these tanks. They need to be getting more value out of these cooldowns.
Only about a minute 10 left. Dragon Strike gonna go straight down the bridge. Heavy damage moving in from that. Spezzo gonna follow Tea Party under very heavy pressure. And Wave Check, they find a way to pierce through.
Good nano on a Crackalack and just pushing forward, having the Diva. I like the strategy is Panic. He's gone to Hanzo. So they have another sniper to contest to help shield break to also contest Far. And Juby's still playing the Ana to get the heals out. Nano Diva is great pushing to these squishy triple DPS setups.
Tea Party, though, plenty of time to defend here in point B. 40 seconds left. And the EMP in reserve. Crackalacken going for the early self-destruct. Not quite going to get them. They look for it. They go for the hole. They just try to get them off the point. It forces a really bad engagement. Wave Check taking down 2 immediately. Freedom, though, off the backhand with the EMP still makes this winnable for Tea Party as they rotate back towards that point. It's very close, but Far back into the fray. And Tea Party on the verge of holding Wave Check back.
Juby gonna get one, but Supercharger's down, but it's just Juby versus the world. He's in the corner, he gets a sleep, but he's done. 7 seconds left on the clock. Wave Check making some swaps. I don't know if they're going to be able to touch it if they do walk into all of Tea Party.
That was real close from Wave Check to just space people off the point. Panic. Emergency Hanzo to the back and drop the Dragon Strike directly onto Payload. Has 2 here so far. And Wave Check, they're not done yet. Tea Party, they might have let this one slip away after a really good last fight. Panic just opening things up here. Again, moving around the Tracer. EMP gonna be dropped by Freedom, but Freedom falls mid-EMP as it hits everyone.
Juby, he's getting so many frags. He's still alive. Higan and Juby on the point. The stagger's out. Juby, if he can live, it's still very possible. He goes down, but it's over. Jade's back on Genji. He cleans up.
And Wave Check, they get through point B against all odds. Twice now in this game, Tea Party had 1 easy fight left to finish off the map. And Wave Check finds a way through. Minute 13 left to bring this into point C.
Hey, ZP, have you ever heard of that famous soccer player? His name is Messi, I think is his name, because that's what that fight was. The focus fire is crazy. There's so many TPS heroes on the field for both squads that they're sort of just taking individual fights. It's very much a lack of focus and just all scrappy DM battles right now.
Clownhead in on the Higan. Wave Check. Well, it's not quite DPS battle anymore. They're full 3-3 in the swap versus 3-2-1. Probably the most standard we've seen all night long between these two teams. Freedom under pressure here versus Brigitte. Zarya on the other side, and I think the translocator was down. So Freedom falls 6-on-5 advantage here for Wave Check, and they're just taking the fight aggressively as you should in the situation. Ace of Spades ends up falling. They just roll on into them, and the Payload with 27 seconds left rolls on in. Wave Check. That was a tortured offense in many ways, but still one that got to the end with time remaining.
Got to the end with time remaining, but is it was it from their offense, or was it rather from just Tea Party not having focus? Not having the focus fire they need. They weren't watching their health. They had thought they had won the fight on cart for that final contest on second. And Wave Check were able to swap full DPS, come back, contest, and just win the DM war. It was just a full scrappy battle.
And you hit on the key point, which is that it was also messy. I think one thing we're seeing from both teams here is that fights that should be winnable in the sense of, 70-30 advantage or more aren't being won for one reason or another. And the one reason is very likely execution. I think back to point A on the defense. Tea Party, they had an EMP up versus Wave Check that was pretty drained. One good EMP should have sealed that fight, but the actual execution lacking. Let's Wave Check back in. Wave Check again, able to get their way back in a point B fight that probably shouldn't have gone their way. And point C, they just kind of steamroll as Tea Party loses all sense of composure.
If I'm Tea Party, I'm feeling a little flustered over that defense, considering that you could have stopped it on second. And now the hard part, the truly hard part, is going to come into play, where Wave Check is going to play defense here. They're going to be able to put the Mei, play the bunker strategy that they've shown that they have a lot of proficiency for, and it's given Tea Party some problems. So they're going to have to find a way to crack this bunker. Freedom going to be on the Sombra Far on that Pharah, which I think are great swaps because they know they're Crackalack and probably going to try to utilize Mei.
Madian in over the top, looking for any angle to be had, and this is a really good terrain for Wave Check to be running the Orisa Mei.
So now Wave Check having to give up the corner, losing the Shield War. As far, it looks like they're actually going to be making a swap. They're going to go back here, make these change rather than playing Shield with DPS. What is it going to be? That's the question. Getting the Hanzo, so even more Shield presence coming out, also being able to play these off angles, though, as Panic on the Hanzo finds Antal. Panic has been great on the Hanzo. Both the flex supports for both these squads, Blub and Panic, have just been flexing on DPS and just finding damage.
It's going to be delaying Tea Party Mars. Jade takes down Amadian. Widow v Widow battle, and Amadian peeking, probably wishing that he had not. Just Wave Check now. A pretty decent spot. They've burned a minute off the clock. Haven't really been forced to change positioning too much. That wall, though, a little bit questionable.
Wall is used as Tea Party moving forward. Ace of Spades going low. Freedom needs to find the poke. They need to find the poke because right now we're at an equal scenario just with Freedom on Sombra rather than having a Hog. There's no Hog for Tea Party, so they don't have Halt Hook. They don't have the extra shield presence. It's all about Freedom finding EMP.
Freedom at 64% has been focusing on Hog more than not, and why not? Hog is a great ultimate battery for the other team. Amadian, though, gonna be finding Hanzo. Big gets both! Juby and Panic down immediately. The double snipers of Tea Party hitting pay dirt. And most importantly, they don't have to use the EMP.
Crackalack, though, just walking forward, gets the freeze, gets the pick, is still going to test the cart. It's over wave check. They're losing the round, but, or not the round, but the fight as Anton gets the res. A little interesting to see there, the power of Mei. And wave check, they can come back for the recontest with the Blizzard, but EMP is available. They also have Halt Dragon, which is great on this since there's no D.Va to eat the Halt. They can't run away since there's no speed. They could realistically just use that for Tea Party.
I do think if you're wave check, you go in for the recontest here, and your goal is, at a minimum, get EMP out. Even if you lose the fight, get rid of the EMP, give yourself a chance to set on up. And the EMP comes out after Amadian's already down. Panic, the early arrow strike. Jade finds Anton on the other side. EMP, though, sets up both Par and Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades using the Supercharger, just grinding on through. Dragon, wave check, makes a little bit of space, though. Gets Tea Party off the payload for a moment, and wave check is very close to just fully repelling.
They have repelled it. Right now, there's no tanks available for Tea Party. They don't have the meat, because as soon as Ace of Spades is down, there's no one that can sit on cart. They use the Dragon and the Blizzard to zone and remove the Supercharger. So Tea Party lost the fight on the most crucial point of this map, which is this first. And now they have to recontest with no ults. They don't have EMP, they don't have Supercharger. Looking rough.
Not only is it looking rough, but this is also one of the very strongest areas for Mei in the entire map, where Mei can play around the tiny areas there and use wall to great effect. Audion looking for the Widow counterpart on the other side. His Spade's already getting low, heading over to that point. Orisa via Orisa going on right now. Widow v Widow. Multiple different battles on all notes, and Amadian gives that up. Meanwhile, Ace of Spades is down. Higan, just big shield break back over to the payload. And wave check, one fight away from forcing a final map 5.
This final fight is all about freedom. It's all about freedom. I know we just had the 4th of July, so it sounds very much more patriotic than it's meant to be, but it's really about the fact that freedom needs EMP. He needs EMP. They're losing Shield Wars EP every single time. They're losing the Shield War to the Halt hook combos, to the presence that Hog puts on Shield, and Crackalack is able to have with the Mei walls to get the splits, to get the verticality, move them up above it. Freedom must find EMP, and Tea Party must be able to clean up without losing frags. His glove goes Hog as well.
The problem is that this is not the easiest terrain to get a great EMP, just because you can have people behind the line of sight on both ends of the archway. Look at Madman, though. Madman's already almost down.
But Freedom down.
Freedom falls without being able to use EMP. What a disaster. Jade buys enough time for the res to come back up. And now this is looking like Tea Party will be repelled on point A. Again with the whole Hog just knocking people back. They can't get back over to that payload, and we're heading to map 5.
Freedom going down there was the disaster. It was the kill switch for the push. They had to have EMP to win that fight. They needed to have it because they were down in ults. They were in a worse position. Huge pick on Panic, who's just continued to frag on Hanzo. He's a flex support player, but he can clearly play Hanzo.
And part of the reason why Sombra might have gotten picked there as well, just thinking about the nature of that point, is that it's very hard to get an ideal EMP there, because the reality is, you really can't. You have to just choose which targets you want to disable and go from there, because the terrain right around that archway, it's very easy for multiple different members to hide, and it just limits your ability to get the big EMP that is so definitive of a 3-2-1 comp.
To be fair, also, Freedom decided to decloak in front of the squad on bridge and shoot Matman, who was low. He was hoping to get the early pick. So he did get picked. Maybe in that scenario, you just drop the EMP because it's fight, it's must win. So definitely a misplay that happened there, but still Panic. I mean, if I'm wave check, I'm looking for any opportunity to put Panic on the Hanzo. Just put him on the Hanzo, just put Jade on the Widow, just play the comp. It seems like this is where you're comfortable, and Tea Party has some struggles against it.
And wave check, as you say, they have not been noticeably weaker in the double sniper versus double sniper battles, and arguably overall here on Rialto, they played it better, which is supposed to be the strength of Tea Party. So very back and forth between both teams, definitely a bit chaotic. But as we head into Control, this is still really anyone's game.
Control, we're going into that map 5, our tiebreaker. And the thing about Control is that we saw it earlier on Nepal, or earlier in the series, is that the bunker is a strategy where if Wave Check are going to play it, they must win first fight.
Yes.
If they lose first fight, their strategy collapses, and then they're stuck in a situation where Tea Party feel much more favored because they're triple DPS, because they're Sombra Goats. And Wave Check have to be sweating because it's sort of inverse Fusion Uni. Obviously, I'm not saying they're the same level as Fusion Uni yet, but Fusion Uni was always like, let's go to Control, because that way we can win, because we have better ping and we're also very good at Control. While Wave Check's like, can't wait to play Assault and Escort, because Mei and Hog is very great on this map, so we can put Panic on Hanzo. While Control, it's a lot harder to do that.
Control maps, if anything, will favor teams that like running Pharah a little bit more because there's a lot more stages that favor running snipers, running high aerial compositions. Not that you can run in every stage, but relative to where you can get away with running a Mei, it definitely favors what we've been seeing out of Tea Party a bit more. However, again, the other thing that we've seen from both of these teams is that it's been pretty variable in terms of performance, and one of the things I think has been haunting Tea Party is that even when they have EMP, their EMP fight win rate has not been great.
That it could be part of the, we're playing double sniper and Orisa to clean up EMPs, so it does have some problems following up effectively, but also you should be planning around the EMP. You should be ready to walk forward and get the value there. So it is sort of a double-edged sword there when you get that criticism. We're still just waiting for both squads to get into our final map. It's going to be that map 5 on Control. And would look to be, honestly, at least the first hold for Tea, or not a first hold, but a first cap for Tea Party should have been for that EMP. They just could not find it, and they have to be sweating because now we're on map 5.
Not great for them, where map 5, anything can happen, and let's not forget, too, that, look, there is momentum in games like Overwatch. I mean, really, any sport ever to exist, when one team is in the middle of a comeback, just mentally getting yourself in a spot where you can look at what's going on and say, wait, let's pump the brakes a little bit, let's bring this back and do what we do well. It's not always easy to get back into that mindset, although I do think the one thing that helps out Tea Party here is that as we move into our next map, it should be more favorable to them than what WaveCheck has been relying on, where, I mean, you look at the point A defense here. Point A defense on Rialto is the best area to run a Mei, period. And WaveCheck, they love running the Mei. Are they going to be able to get away with the Mei quite as much on Busan?
Possibly.
Not every stage.
Possibly.
Not every stage.
Not every stage.
The base stage is very, very good for the Mei, but it comes with a caveat. You have to win the first fight.
And that's just, if I could say just control dot, if that's just like control.exe is like you execute, you must win first fight a lot of times. First fight is so important for Control in general. Yes. And it's even more important if you're going to play a Mei strategy because it's all reliant on controlling the chokes and the entryways.
Mei is sort of this mini gamble in and of itself on many control maps where you can run the Mei, and if you win first fight, then you're at a even bigger advantage, even by control standards. But if you lose the fight, then you'll see a lot of teams just swap off the Mei outright. And we've seen from Crackalacken plenty of times in the past where Crackalacken will open Mei, we lose first fight, now we go to Diva, but now you're behind and building ult for Diva and all the rest.
So we're getting in here to Busan. Busan going to be our final map of this series. Tea Party, WaveCheck tied up now in the map 5. And for WaveCheck, it's time for them to show if they can either A, make their composition they're playing with this bunker comp with the solo support work on a Control, which is tough to do, or if they can flex outside their paradigm out of what they've been playing as sort of their meta and fit something that's a little more fast-paced, able to take more fights that you would like on Control.
We'll say this much. I think for WaveCheck, they 100% need to win base if they want to have any hope here on Busan. I think if we open up on base and they lose, well, that's going to be pretty rough for their chances of bringing on back. We don't have to worry about the base in the beginning. I would turn the tables here and say that Tea Party, they need to win everything not base. So if WaveCheck is able to steal one here, I think Tea Party bring it back is pretty unlikely.
So getting ready for both squads to get on in. Started up here on Busan. And Tea Party probably going to be rolling out with triple DPS. It's been a favorite of theirs so far. This is also a stage that is great for it. High box. I should say skybox, not high box. High box. High skybox.
That's kind of redundant.
It is redundant. It's a little bit redundant. You have that skybox. You have the flanks. You have the ability to be very mobile. You can pressure the point from all angles and find rotations onto the back line. We've seen Pharah, we've seen Widow, even Tracer used to a lot of effectiveness here. We're getting ready to roll out.
So key difference between both teams. WaveCheck going to be running with the Widow Pharah versus Widow Pharah on the other side, but there's a Sombra on one side, no Sombra on the other. WaveCheck very much needs to win non-EMP fights, be more aggressive.
Not only do they do that, they need to get the value for the halt hook combos. And for Freedom, he can not only be pressuring for free because of all the flanks he has, but he can also be looking to pressure Panic, because he pressures Panic and moves Evie away from Crackalack, and as the halt hook combo.
Halt hook anti-air sets the stage here for Wave Check. It's going to give them first control of the point, and this is painful for Tea Party because they don't even have the consolation of Freedom building a lot towards the MP. Freedom's only at 27%.
And they have no 2-point presence here at all. It's Crackalack and on the Pharah. Gonna need so many picks here off that early halt hook combo. Well played from Higgin. Higgin and Matman have a lot of synergy with the combos. I think I understand why they want to play it a lot, because Higgins Hog, he hasn't really missed a lot of hooks. He's had a lot of great synergy. And now Wave Check, they win first fight, which is so important for this composition, and they can set up Jade and Crackalack.
And Freedom swapping over to the Hog. This is pure disaster for Tea Party. So they don't have an EMP to look forward to. They're just outright behind. And Wave Check, first control. This is going to be very difficult for Tea Party to fight back.
That Halt really not finding anyone they wanted to pull. In addition to that, they have far on the Hanzo. So Crackalack, he's sort of free. He just has to just watch Amadian. Well, he doesn't watch Amadian. Bye-bye.
Amadian with the anti-air. Freedom. Hook versus hook. Tea Party getting their way back into this, where the hero swaps, it works in their favor.
That's going to be flip for Tea Party. Now going to bring up their own control bank here. I need to play Amadian hitting some key shots, some very, very important shots. Is Crackalack going to be swapping off Pharah? Probably going Diva. Yes, it is going to be the Diva here. They could be more aggressive. In fact, I could see Jade just making the swap too. I don't even see the reason to take the sniper duels when you could just walk over the front line. You have that ability, but instead, and you keep Jade here on the Widow. And Wave Check look forward to recontest.
In for side up. Wave Check using the opportunity, pushing pretty aggressively back over into the point. Far takes down Jade, a well-placed arrow. The Tea Party now in the 6v5. Wave Check find themselves in a much more difficult situation this far. Laying in the arrows, gonna drop the Dragon Strike right down the middle. Again, answering the whole hog, getting down to Ace of Spades. Wave Check still in the fight, but see it going back the other way. Far getting the nano boost. Nano boosted Hanzo. Looking around, supercharging on the other side. Forcing Tea Party back, letting Wave Check poke way more favorably as Matman gets another 2.
Matman getting that supercharger there was so crucial for the fight. I really don't think Blub should have even had to drop the net on Far. I think they were thinking he could take out Crackalack and he could push forward past the shield. But the reality is, while Higgins there with Matman and they had Panic pocketing him, they were never going to win that fight with the against the supercharger. So Wave Check getting the flip, equalize the time banks mostly. It is going to be taking up their favor now for Wave Check. See the infra sight now popped. And for Tea Party, they need to play these angles. They need to get a pick early.
Far right now, getting reliable damage, and there it is. Halt hook, setting the stage for Tea Party. Get the Widow down the other side. It's not one yet. Freedom. Another hook off the halt, followed up by the whole hog. Well executed by Tea Party. And they just grind their way back on in with several halt hook combos.
The halt hook is so important in this mirror setup, in the setup where you're having both of them. You just have to get value with it, and they did.
Nano Diva on the Crackalack. It's something we've seen a lot before from Wave Check. They use it to turn fights, but not going to be turning this one as Tea Party moves on forward. But still, pretty good delay from Wave Check. 55% to 99. Gives Wave Check 1 to 2 fights to turn things back around, although Tea Party working at a pretty reasonable economy advantage.
Crucial sleep from Blub, by the way, in that fight. There was the nano out to Crackalack from Panic. He was looking to hunt the backline. He was almost able to get Far, but Blub just hit the sleep. They tank Far back up. They're able to sustain through that value. Now Panic onto the Hanzo again. No more Ana. It is Hanzo time. We're playing for shield break. We're playing for picks. It is all about the pick game, but Tea Party, their ults are so strong in this following fight.
Everyone sees everything right now. It's Infrasight v Infrasight. Wave Check desperately hoping to get the first pick off here, to land something over the shield. The Infrasight fading, Sonic Arrow, directly point blank, self-destruct, Crackalack and gets 2!
From the halt to Matman, huge.
That was well comboed between the two of them. And as a result, Wave Check not done yet. Tea Party in a world of hurt off that halt self-destruct combo. As Wave Check, they use the whole hog. This might be it.
This is definitely it. The supercharger's out for Matman. It's now just going to be full stagger here for Tea Party. That combo, so important. Ace of Spades also dropped the supercharger incredibly early in that fight. And the one thing about dropping supercharger before Diva Bomb is out is, you know what's great at denying the value of supercharger is a Diva Bomb.
Yeah.
And they were clustered around supercharger. They could just walk away from it and Wave Check re-engage with that halt Diva Bomb combo.
So revisiting the storyline of this map, if Wave Check was able to win that stage, it put Tea Party in a very rough spot. Why? Because now Wave Check, who's been way more comfortable on Mei, they get to play it here on the base stage. If they win this first fight, I think things look very, very grim for Tea Party.
So Wave Check Tea Party, looks like Tea Party has the same idea, by the way. Freedom on the Mei himself. So both squads look at their control out, and you see this early speed boost for both teams trying to get out there. Making that swap now into Mercy. It's the Mei double sniper for both teams. The mirror here.
Wall versus wall early on. Batman eating a lot of damage. The Tea Party gets the better of the early neutral poke game. And Madian finding Jade on the other side. 6 on 5. Pretty good edge, but Bar takes down the Mercy while Mercy was trying to go for the res, and that just secures the fight for Tea Party.
Fight done. Cap going to be flipped away Tea Party. And Tea Party find the right angles they needed. When you get that early pick, a lot of times you can be pressured. You can be worried that you're going to give up the counter pick, but you have to deny the res. There's a Mercy for both teams, and we saw that in Overwatch League previously in Stage 4, where Double Sniper was meta, where you just get the picks and you deny those.
So nicely executed. Hook onto the enemy hog, the wall to make it safe. Well done by Tea Party, and Tea Party for now beating Wave Check at their own game, where Wave Check was supposed to have the advantage as far gets one more.
Or now he's hunting, he's looking forward, he's going to back up now. And the reality is they've gone the first flip, they've won the first fight, and this Mei for Freedom becomes so much stronger. The angles for Tea Party with Double Sniper are so hard to deal with in Wave Check's current composition, because you must walk behind a Risa Shield. If you're not behind a Risa Shield, you're in the sight line of a sniper.
Dragon Strike directly into the doorway, followed up by the wall. Risa stuck way away. No, Far can't get away. He can. Drags him right on in. Dragon Strike back the other way from Wave Check. Tea Party find themselves poked down to a degree. Madman, though, going to fall 5 on 5. Up, moving back around. Has the opportunity to get Panic. Panic just desperately trying to get away. Not going to happen. The Tea Party continues to hang on.
Club getting hooked, getting frozen, gonna get pulled, but the Supercharger's out for Tea Party. The Falcon's out. There's so much damage on the field. The shield presence is so much better for them. And the reality is, when Wave Check are entering this point, they're getting split by Freedom's Mei walls. They're getting comboed by halts. They're walking into the double sniper sight lines. Wave Check, they might need to swap. I think they definitely need to swap, but they've already spent so much time on this composition because Tea Party is much better at defending than Wave Check is playing that attacking while in that same comp.
And Crackalakin having to give up a Blizzard there was about 3% away. And really, the one way of making that up, got to eat the Blizzard on the other side. Don't let Freedom zone you out, because if there's a good Blizzard here, that's it. The round is over. Freedom, under heavy pressure here, drops the wall. Crackalakin moving back out, already looking. Eat the Blizzard on the other side. Wave Check. It is their final opportunity to get over here to the point. Crackalakin has to sacrifice the mech simply to force overtime. The mech is down. The Blizzard is in. And Tea Party freezing out Wave Check, beating them at their own game. And that's going to be forcing around 3.
So Jade is on point. Jade is on point with Panic. There's so much sustain on the point between the Brigitte and the Moira. It's on Amadi, and he has to hit these shots. Flub and him, they're there. Versus Panic, he's all alone. It should be done here, but they're struggling to finish him off. The healing orb, they actually need to get him, and they are going to find him now.
Worst all they expect here from Wave Check. They got a few pickoffs that probably shouldn't have happened towards the end. They've kept their hopes alive a little bit longer here in the round. Emergency Doomfist off and in, and also gone. Madi, meanwhile, heavy damage coming in. The classic Winston turn and saying, shoot the back, not the front. But it's all for naught in the end. We're going to be moving into round 3.
Round 3 of map 5 for Tea Party and Wave Check. Taking it there to the very limits, taking it to the edge. Both teams having trouble with their own compositions that they've even played. I mean, Tea Party, they just took Wave Check's comp and played it better on that map. And once you win that first flip and you're owning the chokes and you have all that space for your double snipers, it's so hard to attack, especially if Wave Check didn't make... I think they should have made the swap a lot earlier. You literally must be getting entry picks, and it's so hard to do when you're walking into those chokes.
If Freedom runs out here on the Mei, we have truly entered into the craziest of times where both teams have just taken each other's compositions, because Crackalakin for a moment was showing Sombra, but is now swapped over, and Wave Check is going to be running more of a standard 3-3, but Tea Party has now shifted to become the team of Mei.
So now Tea Party, Wave Check rolling out here. Wave Check, though, is coming out on 3-3. They're playing that dive, they're playing the Winston, try to zone, deny the space, but Amadian, he's already picked up Jade.
Amadian again, early pickoffs for Tea Party, sets up the 6 on 5. And Wave Check, the running composition that doesn't really do well when you lose someone early, more so than the norm. Bar chases down Matt, and this is going to be a very decisive point A take for Tea Party.
Very high energy again, but not going to be able to pick up anything. It's going to be picked up now. So Tea Party getting the first flip, getting those early pickoffs. Wave Check have to re-enter here. And I think when they're running this Winston Moira setup, they really had to be going a lot deeper if they're running Moira. You need to be taking that fight continuously all the time, especially since you don't have any shield break presence, you don't have a nano, you don't have a transcendence sustain. But also, if you're going to be playing like that, I feel like you almost should have the Rhine. Wave Check, though, just making the swaps, going to get in the bunker of their own, getting the snipers.
Audion playing to the offhand side. Going to be rejoining the rest of the team. Up and over, taking the high ground. Panic, meanwhile, onto Hanzo, and just shield break back and forth, where Tea Party's going to give up a little bit of ground, back on out. And while they're backing out, Madian still looking for pickoffs. Hawk going to pull everyone up and close together, but this Dragon makes space. Crackalack about to lose mech, and Madian gets the counterpart on the other side, wins Widow battle, and Tea Party, better rotations, better pickoffs. Wave Check going to be thrown back again.
That's another fight done for Tea Party. And with Wave Check playing this setup, where they're playing the double sniper, the solo heal, the Junkertown comp, as it is called, plus the Mei now, Crackalack is swapping. It's just long fights, CP. It's long fights. And this reduces the already small number of fights in control to even smaller numbers. And so you have to be winning because you're already behind in the control bank if you're Wave Check. So now they have to re-enter here again. They're down in ult economy. They made some more swaps. It's so tough to get in here.
Crackalack going back over to the Mei. Freedom meanwhile on the other side. Blizzard already up. Matt down from the Halt Widow combination. Amadian with 2 to start all of this out. Freedom using the Blizzard in the middle of the fight, freezes out the Hanzo. Amadian still uncontested on the left-hand side, and Tea Party 10% away from putting away Wave Check here and now.
And they're going to have to go full swap just to touch the point. They have to go full, they have to get Hammond, they have to get Tracer, they have to get everything now just to touch the point, but they're going to be walking into this setup for Tea Party. They're going to be walking into a whole hog that's going to force them off too. And there it is.
And can't even get over to the point. Whole hog does the rest of the work, and Tea Party hangs on, beating Wave Check really at their own game in the final map. They won both rounds with Mei after getting dominated by Mei in the maps that they had previously lost.
And I think for Wave Check, they showed promise with that composition, but they also were too stubborn to swap. I really think they should have swapped earlier. You can't come back into the points on the double sniper for the Junkertown comp because you're walking into a worse setup. You're walking into the ult disadvantage. And they're, it's just so much worse on control. And it's taking your already small number of fights on control and reducing them to an even smaller amount because you're slow. You're very, very slow.
And you're hitting on one of the problems when you're running a bunker style composition. It is the fact that comparatively to other metas like Dive or even Goats can get to the point pretty quickly. But bunker, you only get a few cracks at it. And after that, it is done. But what more can you say about the game here between these two teams then? Again, it's a little bit of chaos, and also who could have expected in the final map that you would see from Tea Party that go, okay, you know what? We're just going to run Mei like you guys have been running, and we're going to run it better. And that's what they used to take the final map.
I mean, also Wave Check started out with a different comp. They didn't play the bunker. They tried to play a 3-3 variant. And still, it was lacking some synergy and idea of how to execute, right? Because if you're going to play Moira, and you're going to walk into them when they're running double sniper and like solo heal, you need to be into them. You need to be past that shield. You need to be all the way in that back line. And they were looking for soft engages when the reality is you can't soft engage because you're going to lose slowly but surely to the picks, to the halt hook combos. You're going to lose point presence. And that's exactly what happened. Then you lose first and it just spirals out of control from there.
Well, guys, we've been through 3 matches today, but we still got a good one to cap off the night. It's going to be XL2 taking on Triumph right after the break.